Hey there, ex-cult boy, back sharing more on the cult that I escaped 7 years ago, the Exclusive Brethren or the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church. Now, a lot of you have asked, who is the leader? This is the current leader, Bruce Hales. His father, John Hales, was the leader before him. Now, also, you have asked, what do the brethren or the cult think of outsiders? Let me share some words from Bruce Hales' mouth that he's shared about his view on outsiders. Now, I'm fully aware that the brethren use a lot of jargon and terms from the Bible that you guys might not understand. So I'm just going to break it to you quickly. Worldly people are people outside of the church. That's what we used to refer to outsiders. They were worldly people because they were of the world. And also in the biblical Old Testament, they were the Egyptians because it was the Hebrews running away from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians were the bad people. So it's not a modern day context. It's not a race thing. It's the Egyptians are worldly people. So he's not literally referring to Egypt now. It's a biblical term. So I'm just going to interpret this for you because it might be a bit hard, but basically everything the leader says is written into a little white book, they call them, and everybody gets a copy, and this is all you're allowed to read, plus the Bible. So this is Bruce Hales, the leader's quote. "We used to be exhorted when we were younger to spoil the Egyptians. That means you charge the highest possible price to the worldly people. That's the way to get ahead. I mean, materially, you got to spoil the Egyptians. It doesn't belong to them anyway, so we've just got to relieve them of it. Got to do it astutely and carefully." So basically, Bruce Hales is saying here, from my interpretation, that worldly people, who are the Egyptians, you've basically got to rip them off and give them the highest possible price. And that's the only way we can get ahead. This is why the brethren have so much money, because they basically rip off outsiders. And materialistically saying you've got to spoil them. And in his view, he says here it doesn't belong to them anyway. So basically what you guys have worked hard for, it's not yours anyway. So we just got to relieve you of it. And you've got to do it astutely and carefully. This is how they get away with it, because they use things like clever accounting. And then the next quote I wanted to share with you, the world is there for our using up of it. This is his quote saying basically you guys and what the world in general is for the use of us, the brethren. That's the way he looks at it. As he says there, that's the way I look at it. The world is there to take what we want from it and leave everything we don't want, spoil the Egyptians. So basically he's saying that, again, extorting you guys, outsiders. That's their view on the outsiders. This is why when people go, oh, how do they view outsiders? This is how they view you. They look down on you. You are a tool by which they live a great life. And what's the point of going on and getting mixed up in the world? You don't have to get mixed up in the world in business. There's a way through. So he said here, you spoil the Egyptians as quick and as fast as you can and then leave them alone. So this is that whole separation thing. This is why they don't eat and have to do with outsiders, because you are basically part of their game, so to speak. You're a tool by which they get money from and live their lives, their luxurious lifestyles. So you've always asked, I've had people ask every day, how does the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church view outsiders? This is how they view you. This is what the leader has said. And I've also put in the copyright here, Bible and Gospel Trust, October 2014, from the subject index to Ministry of Bruce Hales. I hope that clears up on how the cult views anybody on the outside. You are a means by where they charge the highest possible price, and that's how the brethren get ahead.